I'm Tanya with Imagination Arts. I'm a long-time artist with a recent renewed passion for art. I love to do graphite, colored pencil, watercolor, and acrylic pieces, and plan to expand my horizons into other medias before long. In this video, we will be working on a graphite drawing of Daniel from Stargate SG-1. All materials used in this work will be listed in the description below. And with that, let's get started. Okay, in this piece I went ahead and I sketched out the image using a reference photo from online, and then I just kind of used the reference photo to sketch out the base image and get my base down, and then I just from there just began using my HB pencil after I got the sketch down, and used my HB pencil to just go in there and start laying down some base shading for the skin tone and for the shade, for the shaded areas, and just basically just began laying down. And from there I just basically just once I got the base layer down, what I do here is I'm looking at my reference photo and looking at the areas that are darker, and I just want to make sure that I get the areas that are darker as dark as they need to be, and lighten the areas that need to be light. We just want to make sure that we get our contrast correct, and that we have our darks dark enough and our lights light enough, so that the image looks more realistic and not cartoonish. And you just do that by layering, and you just start off with a really light pencil, and just lay down a light base, and then you just gradually layer with darker and darker pencils to get that shading in there. Now I'm just going in and filling in some of those darker areas in the lips, and then going back up to the forehead and trying to put in some of that shading around the edge of the hair, getting the layout of the hair down and the shaded areas of the hair. Now going in and darkening in those areas of the ear that are shaded, defining the hairline some more, getting that laid in there. Now at parts it's going to look like with the video sped up to shorten the time. It may look like at times that I'm just kind of just scribbling the sections of the hair in there, but I'm actually drawing the lines in there, and I'm making sure that the sections of hair are going in the same direction that they're going in the reference photo. That's a key to making it look more natural and more realistic, is you want to make sure that you're drawing anything like hair or fur in the direction that it's going, and you want to draw it. You don't want to look at hair and fur as like just individual strands. You want to look at them as sections and patches, because when you actually look at fur or hair, you're not seeing the individual strands, you're seeing groups of hair, and they make out shapes, and you want to look at those shapes. And then once you have those shapes laid out, then you want to just work on the shading and the light, the highlights and the shades Now I'm just going in and taking my pencil and going through there, putting in some of that shading under the neck and some of the details around the neck, and redefining some and trying to get in some defining edges in there. Filling in the shirt. In the reference photo, he was wearing a solid black t-shirt, and so I was just trying to fill in that black t-shirt. And then once I have it all filled in, then I'll take and switch over to my 4B pencil and then just kind of begin darkening things up, making it match. I want my darks to be dark, and just continuing to look at my reference photo on my laptop screen and seeing where the darks need to go, where the highlights and the lights are at. Just really getting those lights and darks in there where they should be at, and making sure that they're dark enough and light enough so that the contrast is correct, so that everything is really popping and is really real well defined. Now going in with that 4B pencil and darkening in those areas of the hair that need to be darker. And again, here it looks kind of like I'm just kind of scribbling that in there, but I'm actually drawing in patches going in the direction that the hair was going in the reference photo. Now I'm just using that 4B and darkening up the brows and the eyes, defining the nose and the lips some more. Going in there and again just making sure that I'm getting all the areas that I see in my reference photo that are darker in there, so that all those shaded areas really stick out. And now I've switched back over to my HB pencil to lay down a light base area around him for my background. And then once I have it filled in with the HB, then I will go in and put another layer down with my 6B pencil, which is the darkest, and then just put another dark layer over that. And then once I have that all filled in with the with another layer with the darker lead, I will then take my kneaded eraser that I have rolled into a ball, and then just use it to kind of remove some of the graphite from around him in the background, to put in kind of like either a faded or a light shining or a blurred effect behind him. And then I'm just using my kneaded eraser to just go in there and pop in some of those highlights, remove some of the graphite in the areas where there was light shining on his face. Again, just use. And then once I've removed some of the graphite from his face where it was brightest and the light was hitting him, then that is the completed piece. Hope you enjoyed this. Well, there's the finished piece, and thank you for following along with me on this piece that I was working on. And I hope you enjoyed going along on this with me and following along with me. And I hope you will be sure and click on that like button down below, as well as click on the subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you'll be sure to get notified of any future videos.